Stock slip ahead of India's Republic Day holiday in a truncated trading week. Financials and utilities lead the slide while autos show some resilience.
TVS Motor results are in line with the turn upbeat guidance surprises, even as Pidilite and SBI Cards put up weak shows and Indus Towers hurts on a key client default.
United Spirits feels the pressure of costs on the margins, lower revenues and a loss puncture quick heel, but Nazara Tech gains as growth momentum picks up.
And lenders to Reliance Capital move the NCLAT against a stay on the auction plan, while lenders to Jet Airways move the NCLAT to stop transfer of ownership in the airline to the Jalan Calroc Consortium.
Hello and welcome to Business Lunch. We are in the celebratory mode ahead of the Republic Day here in the studios of CNBC-TV18. I'm Nisha Poddar and with me is my co-anchor Pavitra Parekh. So Pavitra, markets clearly not in a celebratory mode. Along with the global cues, it's also the truncated week which is having an impact on the trade. And at the moment at lunch hour, even though Nifty 50 is slightly above the low point of the day at the moment, but still in a very weak zone and also seeing the grip of the bears at the moment. In fact, let's take a look at some of the counters as well. If you really look at the contribution chart for Nifty 50, a large part of the drag is really coming in from some of the heavyweights like HDFC Twins and also the banking sector, along with the big boy Reliance Industries and Adani stocks are also in deep red today. In fact, let's take it straight across to Prashant Nair, who's joining in with more insights on the market sell-off that we are seeing today. Hi, Prashant.
Thanks very much, Nisha, for that. So it looks like a big one, right? 200 points. At one point, we were down almost 240 points or so. But all said and done, it's what, 1.5 or not even 1.5% cut, 1% actually after the recovery or the bounce that we've had from the day's low. I want to just get one thing out of the way. Because we are so close to the budget, a lot of people are asking whether, this is nervousness because something, something will come in the budget which the market will not like. And the general sense, at least I have got, is no, right? And we've been reporting, our colleagues from Delhi, Timsy, etc., have been reporting that it's unlikely that the government will want to rock the board. Of course, I mean, you can't say till you get the budget document out, and we'll have to wait for that. But, this just seems a little bit of profit-taking and nothing more. And I think people are throwing in the word budget because we're just kind of a few days away from it. Okay, let me just quickly tell you what's happening in terms of levels. With the correction, the 200-point sell-off that we've had, we are now basically back to the lower end of the range of 2023. I mean, actually, this started in the last week of December. The range on the lower side has been 17,800 and the upside has been about 18,200. And we are now closer to 17,800 than we are to 18,200. It's been 400 points and we've had sort of multiple ups and downs, but within this range. The big support for the Nifty comes in at 17,761, which is about 200 points away, right? It's not very large. I mean, with a day like today, it can be filled quickly. But that's the big one. That's the low which was made on the 12th of January and which kind of has held since. The Bank Nifty has broken the December 22nd swing low and has bounced a little bit. That level basically is 41,569 for the Bank Nifty. There's a decent bounce on the Nifty Bank which has materialized as well from those lows. But I think it'll be interesting and important to see if we kind of close above it. It's good if you close above it and not below it, because a close below will kind of open more downsides. That's 41,569. Banks, of course, are the culprit. HDFC, ICI, the HDFC Twins actually, which had been supporting the market on the way up, they are seeing some selling pressure. ICICI Bank, State Bank of India, and Reliance is also, of course, it's got a 12% weight in the index. This is largely the group of stocks which is putting some pressure. Mid caps and small caps are having a bit of a hard day as well, 1.5% lower. Advanced decline is in favor of declines by some 4:1. So it's a pretty red screen so far in terms of trade. I think global cues is also important because over the next couple of days you will hear from lots of large US tech companies, and more than the earnings, their commentary of how the demand environment for them is going to look like in 23. Like, for example, we heard from Microsoft, we heard from others recently. I think that should set the tone for whether we'll have global support or we'll have global headwinds. In any case, I think as we go into the holiday tomorrow and come back, the conversation will more and more sort of align towards the big event, which is next week, the middle of next week, which is the union budget. Back to you.
All right, Prashant, thanks a lot for getting us a quick check on the market. So we're still around 200 points lower, but there has been around a 50-point recovery from the bottom. By the way, a lot of the metal names have been moving up in the past few minutes, so something like a Tata Steel, Hindalco have all surged in the past couple of minutes. But the other space we want to talk to you about is the Adani group of stocks. These are falling in trade today after Reuters highlighted details from a Hindenburg research report in the group. They say that they hold short position in India's Adani group via US-traded bonds and via non-Indian traded derivative instruments. So Reuters says that the Hindenburg has expressed concerns over valuations, says over 7 listed companies of the Adani group have 85% downside on sky-high valuations. Hindenburg also says that Adani companies have taken on substantial debt against shares, placing it in a precarious financial position. So now Reuters is saying that the Adani spokesperson did not immediately respond to a request for a comment on this research report, but that is something that we wanted to, bring you up to speed with. And Nisha, the Adani group of stocks in focus also because of that.
Yes, that's right. And they are in the red. And also the timing has to be watched out for very closely because the follow-on public offer that has been initiated by Adani Enterprises for 20,000 crore rupees, that is set to launch in a couple of days. And today is also the anchor investors book closure. So whether or not that gets impacted to be watched out very closely. Let's take you to an exclusive story now on CNBC-TV18. Sources are telling us that Star Health Insurance is planning to branch out into the life insurance business. And Yash Jain, our colleague, gets us all those details. Yash.
Well, that's correct. So this time around, the insurance companies will focus on the budget session more than the budget itself. And that's because a very crucial set of amendments are expected to be taken up in the budget session. Those are the insurance amendments. One of the most important one would be the composite insurance license, which allows life insurance companies to operate in general insurance and vice versa. So far, CNBC-TV18 has reported on 2 companies. One is LIC and second one is HDFC Life. The 2 companies are planning to enter the health insurance market. Today, what we're going to tell you is about Star Health Insurance, which is a health insurance company operating in the standalone health insurance space, which is planning to enter the life insurance market. This is large because life insurance companies generally do have large capital which can support underwriting on the health insurance side. But for Star being a health insurance company to enter life insurance will be a big move for the company. As far as the product focus is concerned, what we've been given to understand from our sources is that Star Health Insurance is likely to focus on protection of the term life insurance products. And this is with the thinking that it would complement its current portfolio of health insurance products, giving a bouquet in terms of health insurance as well as term life insurance products. What we've been given to understand is that, as I reported, the hope is that the Parliament session will take up the insurance amendments, and if that happens, then Star Health Insurance would be putting its proposal with the insurance regulator, IRDAI, and then of course the process will go on from that point when the regulator considers this particular proposal.
All right, Yash, thanks a lot for bringing us all of those exclusive details. So with that, we're going to get into a break, our first on the show. But on the other side, the last budget saw the government emphasize on the production and branding of millet. So how has this push for millet production really turned out? And what are the millet farmers seeking now? We'll tell you more after the short break. Hey guys, welcome back. You're still tuned into Business Lunch, and let's bring you the latest in the Jet Airways takeover case. Sources are telling us that lenders have filed a plea in the NCLAT opposing the NCLAT's January 13th order, saying that the Jalan-Kalrao Consortium has satisfied conditions precedent for the takeover of the airline. So Ritu is here with all of the details. Ritu?
Well, thanks for that. The State Bank of India-led consortium has moved the NCLAT against the January 13th order of the NCLT, which had approved the ownership transfer of Jet Airways to the Jalan-Kalrao Consortium and excluded 180 days period to give them time until the May of this year to make their first tranche of payment to the lenders to complete the ownership transfer. Now, this the lenders have opposed and said that the Jalan-Kalrao Consortium has been misleading the courts. It has not met the conditions precedent set out under the resolution plan, which includes securing international routes, slots, certain approvals from DGCA and so on. The lenders have argued argued that this Jan 13th order was in violation of the settled law and the terms of the resolution plan, which was approved by the lenders, and it in effect modifies the terms of the plan which was agreed upon by the lenders, and it is at the cost of jeopardizing the revival of the airline because as per the Jan 13th order, Jalan-Kalorok Consortium gets to walk away without meeting a lot of its obligations, which puts the revival of the airline under question, and also the recoveries of the lenders, because remember, even though lenders are taking a 95% haircut, a bulk of that payment is in the form of deferred payments, which again hinges on the revival of the airline, and therefore this puts a big question mark on the recoveries that lenders will also make through the process, and therefore lenders have moved the court asking them to set aside this Jan 13th order, which had allowed the ownership transfer to the Jalan-Kalorok Consortium.
All right, Ritu, thanks so much for all the details and revival of Jet Airways on our watch list. Now let's talk about the biggest event that we are waiting and watching out for. Now, in the last year's budget speech, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman spoke about the government's plan to focus on millets, from enhancing the production to branding and also promoting millet consumption, both domestically as well as globally. In keeping with this, now the government also proposed to the UN that 2023 be declared the International Year of Millets, a proposal that has been accepted. Now, CNBC-TV18's Santya Gora reports that millet farmers in the state of Maharashtra are banking on the government's intent for more support in the budget 2023.
27-year-old Gulab Khotade and her husband Dhavlu Khotade own and farm 7 acres of land in Winwell village in Maharashtra's Palghar region. Of these 7 acres, 1.5 acres is earmarked for finger millets or ragi. Last year, their field yielded 2.5 quintals of ragi, almost double the average. But the millet farmers in the area mainly use ragi for personal consumption. But the government's stated intent of bolstering ragi production and consumption has given the couple hope.
7 acre jaga hai.
We have 7 acres of land. We sow paddy and ragi in our fields. If the government helps us, we will sow more ragi.
जर सरकारची मदत राहते तर याहून पण जास्त आम्ही पिकवतो.
Khotade's neighbor Sunita Murga, who also grows finger millet on a portion of her land, says she is willing to increase land allocation to this crop if better infrastructure is provided.
जागा आमची 6 एकर आहे. ते पण पाऊस पडत नाही, मग नागली माझी पिकत नाही.
We have 6 acre land, but if it doesn't rain, the ragi crop suffers. We depend on rainfall. If the government provides us better facilities, we can sow more ragi.
सरकार मला पाण्याची सोय करील तर याच्या पुढे मी नागली पिकून जास्ती पण पिकली.
India was the highest producer of millets in 2020 and produced 41% of the world's millets. In 2020-21, it produced 17.96 million tons of millets, and it's this number that the government wants to increase. It has come up with a 5-year plan that spans various ministries and its foreign embassies and missions. Millet exports also account for just 1% of total millet production currently. To enhance this, the government plans to organize millet promotional activities in multiple countries like Australia, South Africa, Japan, Indonesia, and Belgium. But farmers and experts say a lot more will have to be done to incentivize millet sowing, and Budget 2023 could be a strong starting point for this.
Because farmers really, the kind of money that they make annually is extremely low. Stability in income is of paramount importance to them, and that's something that can encourage them to go for this crop. So if we have more procurement for millets and maybe also distribution under the PDS scheme is enhanced for millets, that can encourage farming for millets this year.
Measures to enhance yields are also the need of the hour, and the list of focus areas include
conservation of millet diversity in different agroclimatic zones of India. Second, developing cultivation practices for getting better yield in hilly regions, slopy lands, degraded soils.
The government has also approved a production-linked incentive scheme for millet-based products and expects this to increase consumption beyond subsistence farming. The government has kicked off the promotion and branding leg of its millet popularization plan from the beginning of this year. Different states and ministries have been allocated a specific month to organize various activities promoting millets. These states and ministries will organize fairs and exhibitions as part of this exercise. The government is also roping in the media, startups and the hotel industry to popularize millet consumption. And as per last year's budget announcement, pre and post-harvest value addition of millets will be on the government's priority list this year. In Palghar with camera person Ajay Dabholkar, this is Santya for CNBC-TV18.
All right, that is what the millet farmers are hoping for ahead of the budget. There are just days to go now, so interesting to listen to all of those expectations before the budget. With that, we are going to get into a short break, but as we do that, it's time for the CNBC-TV18 budget quiz. Remember, there are lots of prizes to be won every day, and we gave you the question at 9:14 a.m. today, but just in case you missed it, here's today's question. When did Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman present her first budget? So your options are February 1st of 2018, February 1st of 2019, July 5th of 2019, or February 1st of 2020. Send us all of your answers on Twitter. Just post your answer as a comment on the question tweet on CNBC-TV18 News and use the hashtag budget with CNBC-TV18. Hurry and send us all of your answers. Remember, we will be announcing the winner at 3 p.m. today. All right, so that is Pathan in the theatres, and it'll be interesting to watch Shah Rukh Khan once again back in the theatres after so long.
Yes.
So, I mean, and you know, we have been getting reviews all through the day, and it looks like everyone's really loving the film.
And Indian box office also needs some lift
really
up
needed
at
that,
this
yeah.
point. And I would say that South Indian cinema is really giving Bollywood a real run for its money. So we have to really see whether SRK really lives up to the expectations this time around, Pavitra.
All right, so we are going to catch this tomorrow, but with that, we're going to wind down on this show for now. And as we do that, here's some information for our viewers. This Republic Day, History TV18 is giving the audience yet another reason to celebrate. So their super hit flagship show, OMG Ye Mera India, is back with its season 9 premiering on the 26th of January at 8 p.m. Here's a glimpse of what this new season really has in store for us.
अरे कौन है बे? यार मैं चैन से अपना फेवरेट टीवी शो भी नहीं देख सकता क्या? बाद में आना। जिनी भाई प्लीज। मैं नहीं आऊंगा बाद में। मेरी एक छोटी सी विश है यार। अरे बोला ना नहीं। इसका तो पता नहीं, लेकिन मेरी विश पूरी हो गई है।
OMG ये मेरा इंडिया का नया सीजन शुरू हो रहा है कल रात 8 बजे हिस्ट्री TV18 पर।